What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be talking about F1 winter testing. For those of you who do follow me on social media, you will know that I went to Barcelona last week for the second day of the first test, and I had a lot of fun. And I had this video idea in mind, but it really just cemented all of these feelings that I had, and so I have to make this video and kind of show you guys what you're missing out on when it comes to pre-season testing versus going to a regular Grand Prix weekend. So I've got many pros and only a couple of cons, so weigh up your decision and let me know what you think. So let's get into it. So the first reason as to why I should go to F1 winter testing as opposed to a Grand Prix is the most obvious thing, and it's the price. Whichever Grand Prix you go to in the specific country, more often than not, you're actually going there in the peak season of tourism. So you're obviously going to pay top dollar for not only tickets, but travel expenses, flights, accommodation, food, etc. Like, you're going to get charged quite a bit. But with testing, I don't know, I feel like a lot less people go there, and so you're not exactly going to pay much. But I'm not going to delve too deep into the external factors outside of the circuit, but what I will directly compare is the tickets of testing and what you pay for at Barcelona, Catalonia on the normal race weekend. So here we've got the testing tickets. You can see general admission is 23 euros. It goes all the way up to, through circuit experiences, all the way to the paddock, which you can't buy at a normal race weekend. So right there you can see it's very cheap. You compare that to just tickets on a normal race weekend, and general admission for the weekend is 159 euros. And what's even more silly is that general admission on testing and on a Grand Prix weekend is not the same. You get way more for a lot less money going to testing. So in general admission, you can actually go into the grandstands that are open and available on that day. So you get much better vantage points. You see a whole lot more running, and for a better price. So I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a much better deal to me. Reason number 2, and that is crowds. There's a lot less of them at testing, and for some people I feel like that is a big deal. At a normal race weekend, you can sometimes be packed in like sardines, elbow to people, just trying to find a good vantage spot, especially in general admission, like any like normal grassed areas, just trying to get a nice view of a car going past, or an overtaking area, trying to get a nice photo. You're normally like 2 or 3 people deep, especially on race day. With testing, you absolutely do not need to worry about that, because you have access to grandstands, you have access to the grassed areas. Some B-roll you might even see up on screen now. There was barely anyone walking around in the normal grassed areas, so you've got lots of space to roam around in and do whatever the hell you want with that time. So that's always a big positive. So make of that what you will, but for some people, that is a big deal. Number 3, you get way better access at testing. I did touch upon this with the price, but yeah, you get access to much more than what you would if you went normally. Like I said, you can, just for general admission, you can go into the grandstands, but you can actually buy paddock passes for the particular day that you're going. So you have the chance to walk into the paddock, potentially meet drivers. You can see F1 team personnel. You can see other people within the sport of Formula 1, which is a rarity. Even for someone like me, I still get really giddy about walking into the paddock and potentially meeting a driver, just because of how hard these guys are to access. I feel like F1 drivers are the hardest people to meet in world motorsport. So to get that chance is one that you really shouldn't pass up. And the fact that you can't even buy these tickets on a normal race weekend, I don't even need to explain it. Like, the reasons for doing that is that should be half the reason alone as to why you go to testing, or at least that was the reasoning for me anyway. The closest thing you can get on a normal race weekend is Paddock Club, and those tickets are ridiculously priced. You can see for the weekends of Catalonia, you're paying €5,000 for that. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not even the real paddock either, it's Paddock Club, so it's like this little lounge area where it's nice and fancy. You get champagne, you get treated like royalty essentially, because that's where a lot of celebrities and rich people go. But even then, you will only get the odd driver or two asked to walk in through there to just do a quick meet and greet. It's not the full paddock experience, it's not the real paddock. So yeah, testing, you get that. €109, €5,000. Yeah, I think I know which one I'd choose. And the final reason, which I've kind of already given it away, I haven't planned out this video all too well, but yes, the chance to meet drivers and F1 team personnel. Now, even if you do go to testing, you do need to be quite on the ball with this kind of thing. The drivers and the team personnel are either in the garage or they're moving to like their hospitality suite, so you got to catch them in their transit time. So I think the best time to do that is probably in that 1 hour lunch break between 1 and 2 p.m. Drivers who are just in for the morning session, they'll walk out, and drivers who are coming in for the next session, they'll walk into the garage. Or if you're lucky, you might spot a driver while testing is actually going on and they're not in the car at that time, so you could be lucky that way and meet a driver. But I gotta say, even then, if you're in the right place at the right time, it can still be very, very hard to meet a driver. So you've got to be on the ball. You've got to remember that there's lots of people all trying to do the same thing. So you need to be standing in the right area. You need to kind of almost guess where the path that you think the F1 driver is going to take. I know this sounds super serious, but if you do honestly want to meet a driver, you've got to be on the ball with these things. I look at what like other photographers are doing. I met Kim Illman. He was like up on the stairs with me above the Mercedes area, and I was just trying to get some B-roll footage of Lewis, to be honest. I've already met him, so I didn't feel the need to get a selfie with him or anything. But even then, it was pretty crowded. I saw him move down past where all the crowds were, and where he thought people were going to move. I moved to where he was as well, and in the end, lots of people just kind of pushed in, and we didn't really get a chance to get a nice shot of him. So that was rather unfortunate, but you know, these are the levels that you need to go to if you want to meet your favorite driver. Like, this is how it is on testing. On a Grand Prix weekend, it's like another level because there's just so many more people. So even for me, like, getting the chance to be able to walk in the paddock, it's a massive honor. It's a massive privilege. And you've got to make the most of that, because this may not be a staple of testing for the years to come. Although Liberty Media is doing their best to accommodate fans and improve that fan experience, I don't know, I feel like drivers may not want to have lots of fans in the paddock and harassing them here and there. So your chance to do this kind of thing might only be limited to the next few years. So get in while you can. Like, over the course of the weekend, I saw like lots of people getting mobbed, like lots of drivers getting mobbed. In particular, the Ferrari drivers, like they were hot property. I saw Sebastian Vettel get squished up against his hospitality suite because some lady was trying to get a photo with him, and he was like, "Oh my god!" I felt bad for him. So even though it's generally not crowded, it does become a bit hectic when drivers are around. So yeah, like I said, you got to be on the ball, and I guess that's the only one of the few cons about testing. So I'll move on to those now that we're on the topic. There are downsides to testing, one of which could be it might be cold because it is winter, obviously. If it rains, you probably won't see much running over the course of the day, which you can understand. A lot of teams are wanting to be protective of their new prototype parts, for example, at the start of a season. Other things, the facilities I don't think are amazing. I don't believe they have any like food stalls or anything. I might be wrong, because I did spend most of the day in the paddock and I did eat in the paddock because I was a guest of Alfa Romeo. So you may need to bring your own food. I'm not too sure, but that is something worth considering. If you've been there, please let me know, but I don't think there was food stalls. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Apart from that, like, there's no real entertainment, I suppose. But why would there be? It's not an event, really. It's testing. The on-track action is the entertainment, and so too with what you might see in the paddock. I guess you could kind of see that as entertainment as well a little bit. Hopefully that all made sense. But yeah, overall, I had a really good time at testing. I gotta say, a huge shout out to Alfa Romeo and also Veloce Esports for flying me out there, getting me access to two of their Alfa Romeo drivers, Robert Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi. I had an interview which went up on my channel the other day, so feel free to check that out. But otherwise, it was an amazing experience. It was nice to get out of the cold of England and get a little bit of sun in Barcelona, see some F1 cars for the first time. This could be a pro, but having bragging rights, seeing the new cars for the first time. I can't believe that's not a thing. But yes, you can have bragging rights over your friends. So there you go. I highly recommend it. I went for only just one day. I flew in from the UK and then flew out in the evening. I did feel a little bit rushed, so I feel like, especially if you want to meet a driver or 2 or 3 or more, I would recommend going for 2 days so that you don't feel so rushed. You can take your time, experiencing all the vantage points around the circuit, spending a bit of time in the paddock if that's the kind of access that you want to get, and just chilling out and just seeing everything that there is to offer. Any more than 2 days, and I feel like you're probably getting into the realms of maybe boredom because you've seen it all. But apart from that, it's a great experience. If you're an F1 fan, you're a hardcore fan, you should definitely go. If you've never been to a Grand Prix before, I feel like testing is a great starting point because you'll get so much for your money, and it's just a great experience overall. But that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. If there's any other, I don't know, reviews you want to see of like other Grand Prix, if I go to them over the course of the year, I will be going to Silverstone. Hopefully 1 or 2 more. We'll have to wait and see. I've got no plans at this stage, but if I do go to those things and you want to see a video like this again, who knows, maybe I could do it. Maybe I could do a review of other Grand Prix I've already been to in the past. I've been to some absolute belters. But anyway, I'm waffling now. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, it's goodbye.
When was your last time they stopped you for speeding?
No, never.
That's but I'm